Hey there, welcome back to our Harkley YouTube channel. We're so happy to have you here again with us today. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Jessica. We are the Certified Occupational Therapy Assistants with Harkley. And today we're going to talk about the connection between primitive reflexes and emotional intelligence.
The first thing we really need to break down today when it comes to understanding emotional intelligence is, it really comes down to two things: understanding and managing your own emotions, as well as understanding and perspective taking other people's emotions as well.
Yes, and what happens with retained primitive reflexes is if those primitive reflexes are stuck and have not integrated into more mature patterns, you're actually not able to access the higher levels of your brain where your emotional intelligence resides. So you're really stuck in this more primitive state that is more fight, flight, or flee, more reactive, and you're not as able to hold it together and manage it and understand it as well, because those primitive reflexes are impacting you and are just stuck.
Yeah, you think about an infant, their way of managing their emotions is strictly through using a caregiver for co-regulation.
Even toddlers, even into toddlerhood.
Exactly,
yep.
Yeah, so they don't have the ability to communicate their wants, their needs, their frustrations, so they generally cry, they throw a fit, they, have a meltdown. And that's really important because we want those basic skills, those are normal and okay to do, but we want those to transition into problem-solving skills and being able to say, you know what, I'm feeling really sad today. What can I do in order to make myself feel better? Can you give me a hug? Can we go for a walk? So it's really taking those primitive emotional skills and transitioning them to those higher level emotional regulation skills.
We've talked about the pyramid of learning before. We have a whole nother video on it. And really what happens is if we have missing pieces in that foundation because of retained primitive reflexes, we aren't going to have that strong foundation and that base of support to be able to access higher level skills like emotional intelligence.
Exactly. So in addition to these emotional regulation, emotional intelligence challenges that we see with retained primitive reflexes, we also see a connection to things like anxiety, poor self-regulation, and poor social skills.
We also see behavioral challenges and impulse control challenges. And really, these are all encompassing within emotional intelligence. These are the things that we're able to control our anxiety and manage it when we need to. We're able to, stop and think before we speak or act. But if those things are challenging, we want to look at why. Is it because of retained primitive reflexes? What we found in the research and what we've found clinically working with children is that yes, that's most often the case.
Yeah. We also wanted to share just a little blurb from our favorite book, one of our favorite books by Sally Goddard. She is an absolute whiz. We love her work, but this paragraph came from this specific book. It says, individuals with neuromotor immaturity frequently experience difficulties with related skills such as balance, coordination, and visual perception, which can affect behavior and educational performance in children and result in chronic anxiety and emotional sensitivity in adults.
Yes.
Something to keep in mind.
We also found several research articles that talk about primitive reflexes and the connection to emotions and learning. We are going to link those in the description below. If you want to nerd out on research like we love to do, you can click those links and read through it for more information and just to really see that it's not just us blabbing about this all the time, but
we are just blabbing about it all the time.
The research backs it up, which is so important if you are a therapist, professional working in this field.
Yes. So with that being said, we're going to leave you with three and a half activities, maybe 4, maybe 27, who knows at the end of this video. But we're going to leave you with some activities that you can do to help promote integration of some of these reflexes that are generally known for causing some of these challenges. The first one is the Moro reflex. You know how important the Moro reflex is when it comes to anxiety and gravitational insecurity and all of those underlying skills we already mentioned. So the activity that we're going to have you do is peanut rocking, and this just basically looks like hugging your legs to your chest and rocking up and down and really focusing on maintaining that flexed position. The neck should be flexed and your chin should be tucked to your chest, I almost said your chin should be tucked to your chin. That's not it. You know what I'm saying, but we're gonna rock up and down. And we're gonna do this several times in the morning and at night if you feel so inclined to do so.
Yeah. The next one is for the tonic labyrinthine reflex. This is the TLR. And the activity is the Superman banana or bouncy ball hold. So Superman, you lay on your stomach, and at the same time, you lift your arms and legs and head up against gravity, and you hold that Superman position, ideally for 10 to 15 seconds with good form. Then you roll onto your back and you do kind of like the opposite. So we went into extension, now we're into flexion. So you lift your head up, you tuck your chin to your chest, you cross your arms, and then you bring your legs in, knees bent as well. Hold that for a good 10 to 15 seconds. We typically call it like Superman banana, Superman bouncy ball hold, and you want to do a couple of reps of that, similar to the rocking egg or peanut rocking, where you do a couple of reps in the morning, a couple of reps at night.
And the last activity or exercise we're going to have you do is for the STNR, and you're going to be rocking on hands and knees. So this is an activity that we see most infants do when they are learning to progress into that forward crawling pattern, but you're just going to glue your hands and your knees to the ground.
Not literal glue.
No.
Disclaimer.
Figurative glue. And you're going to rock back and like sit your bum on your heels, and you're going to rock back and forth and back and forth and back and forth a few times in the morning and a few times at night as well.
Yes. Now, anytime we recommend these activities in a video or a podcast, we always get the question of like, how many times should I do it? Should I help my child do it if they're not able to do it with good form? So to answer those questions really quick, we want to have you do these activities between 5 and 10 times, in the morning, in the evening, if possible. Once a day is great as well. The goal with these activities is to do it with good form. So if your child is able to hold the Superman with good form for 5 seconds, but not 10, that's okay. Start with where they're at, where they can hold it with good form, and work your way up. We also recommend that you do these with your child so they're not doing it alone. They're more motivated if you're doing it with them. Incorporate it into the play routine so it doesn't seem like work. And then yes, definitely help your child, especially with the rocking egg or peanut rocking, whichever one you want to call it. If your child's not able to hold that position as they rock back and forth, you can absolutely provide hands-on assistance if needed to help them keep that good form.
Yep. And the last thing that we're going to leave you with as it connects to emotional intelligence is to incorporate an emotional regulation protocol or visual, some sort of program that you're going to use, like the zones of regulation or the alert program. That way you can help them identify how they're feeling, and you can identify a sensory strategy or an activity to get them to a desired emotional state. So we love those two, the zones of regulation and the alert program. We'll link them in the description so you can check them out as well.
And we'll also link some other resources where we've talked about those programs a little more extensively, so you have a little bit more information on how to use them.
With that being said, if you do have really significant concerns about your child's ability to just get through their day on an emotional level, like from an emotional standpoint, if they're, struggling to just get from point A to point B successfully, make sure that you are seeking out in-person occupational therapy services. Get an evaluation from your pediatrician. When in doubt, rule it out.
Yes, definitely. If you liked this video, if you found it helpful, please leave us a comment below. Make sure you send this video to a friend who might also like this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss another new video.
And make sure you're following us on Instagram. We like to hang out there. You can find us at All Things Sensory Podcast, as well as Harkla_family.
We do have a podcast, All Things Sensory by Harkla. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. You can search for the All Things Sensory Podcast YouTube channel.
And with that, we'll plan on seeing you next week.
Okay, bye.
Let me say that again, with related skills.
Okay, just do the whole thing over.
Okay. Reading is hard when you're on camera.
Well, that's because it's also so small.
I can read it. It's fine.